Hey boys, what's up? I know I'm a little late to the party, but listen, I have to talk about this movie. I saw Rise of Skywalker opening night, and I went in with, relatively low expectations, just because I had heard all the rumors and what's it called? The Rotten Tomatoes scores came out, and it was like a 57 or something like that, which is pretty damn low, especially since Last Jedi got like a 90 or something like that. So that's pretty impressive as far as that goes for the critics. I don't understand it at all, because Last Jedi to me is something, but I saw Rise of Skywalker, and I don't want to be repetitive. I don't want to say the same. This is why I almost didn't even make a video in the first place anyway, because I just didn't want to say the same thing that everyone else is saying, right? But I just feel like I have to say some stuff about it. So this is going to be spoiler heavy. I'm just going to talk about the movie, my problem with the movies, and why I think it turned out this way, right? So at the start, with episode 7, The Force Awakens, we were all excited. We were all hyped. J.J. Abrams came out. He's like, the first line in the movie is, "This will begin to make things right." And it did. It totally did, man. Anyone who says that Force Awakens is bad is wrong. And it's like I'm living in a fantasy world where, dude, you remember when it came out? Everyone was hyped on Force Awakens, and now all of a sudden everyone hates it. That's crazy. No, it's not a bad movie. It's fine. It set up some really nice characters. There were issues with it for sure, but there's always kind of been issues with Star Wars. But the issues that I found with it were Rey was maybe a little overpowered. The scene where she comes in and does the Jedi mind trick on the stormtrooper kind of came out of nowhere. It's been 30 years at the time, 40 years or whatever, since we had seen someone use a Jedi mind trick. So a little weird to just put that in there, no explanation at all. It would have been nice if at least Han was yeah, he did Jedi mind tricks. So then maybe, Rey would be But anyway, that happened. We were all hyped on it. It left a great cliffhanger of Luke, Rey bringing the lightsaber to Luke. We were all hyped for the next one. All of us. We were all hyped. Everyone was hyped. What's going to happen with Luke? What are we going to do? What are they going to do? The First Order, big bads. Kylo's hella interesting, sort of a crybaby, but he's interesting. Episode 8 comes out, and Rian Johnson undoes everything. And it's not so much as he undid everything, it was more he just did the opposite of what everyone expected. Maybe thinking he was clever or something, but really he just did the opposite, which isn't clever, and it's really just... It made it so then at the end of it, you didn't really care anymore. He undid everything. He undid all the mystery. Everything was sort of answered. We don't know who Snoke is, but he killed him. We didn't know anything. So going into episode 9, I had pretty low expectations even without the reviews. I just didn't care much at all. So I go in, I have pretty low expectations, and the movie starts. And, from the trailers we know Palpatine is back. But imagine going in to the movie without seeing any of the trailers, any of the promotion material, and you walk in there, and the opening scroll, and you've just been hyped on Star Wars ever since episode 8, and the opening scroll says, "The dead speak. Palpatine's back." They don't explain it. Palpatine's just back, dude. He's just back. Why is he back? Why is Palpatine back? They don't explain it. How did he survive? Doesn't matter. They're not going to tell you. It starts with Kylo killing everyone, which is cool. A montage of him killing people, which whatever. And then him talking to Palpatine, and Palpatine revealing, oh, he's been behind it the whole time. I was Snoke. I was the Vader voice. I'm the one that connected you and Rey with the Force. Okay. That would have been like a nice reveal at the end of the last movie, so you don't have to set it up in this one. Because maybe if you set it up in the last movie, you could tell us why he's there and like build his character. Because honestly, yeah, he's the Emperor. He's a bad villain in this movie. He doesn't do anything at all. But we just have to go off the word that he was Snoke the whole time. He's the one that got Kylo to do everything. The whole movie is just a mess. There are a few things that just don't make sense in it. Like, for one, okay, Rey's a Palpatine, that's fine. I guess Palpatine fucks now. That's cool. Whatever. But, the thing that doesn't make sense is when Kylo says, I wasn't lying, your parents are nobody, because they chose to be. That's really just not how things work, man. You don't just choose to be nobody. They're not nobodies. They're Palpatine's kids. Or son or daughter, whoever is. I don't know. Maybe they were both. Maybe her parents were both his kids, and it's like a weird incestuous thing. That's why she's so strong. I don't know. So that made no sense. Let's see. To me, I didn't buy the kiss at the end. That's one thing. Apparently they're a dyad in the Force. They said that in passing like one time. Kylo and Rey are like a dyad in the Force, meaning that's why they have the connections and that's why they're so close or whatever. And apparently that's why they kiss at the end. But why are they dyads in the Force? I thought it was Snoke or Palpatine, whoever, who was the one that made them have this weird connection. So what's going on there? Is Snoke just lying? Or was Palpatine just lying? The other thing that doesn't make sense is the Final Order, which is Palpatine's secret army. Why does Palpatine have a secret army if he was Snoke? It seems like the First Order was plenty strong enough already. Like, they already killed the Republic. Why does he need another army? Like, the First Order, why wouldn't he already have joined those forces? Why is Palpatine just now showing up? Like, what is his motive for, like, showing up now compared to in The Last Jedi? Why didn't he show up then? I just don't get it, man. The whole movie makes no sense. And I know it sounds like I'm upset, which I am, but I'm not. I mean, if you like the movie, you like the movie. But to me, the movie felt like a Transformers film, or like Justice League, or, you know, Suicide Squad. Maybe not that bad, but it did have the giant beam in the sky. Palpatine shot out of his fingers. Big beam in the sky, just like all those 2010 movies with beams, like Suicide Squad, Man of Steel. The big beams, they're back. I don't know. Finn's character is like less interesting now because apparently there's a bunch of stormtroopers who defected. Rose is nobody now. They Jar Jar'd her. She's no one. I don't get it. I don't know how you could go into that movie and be like, yeah, that was great. Because I'd say objectively it isn't. If you enjoyed it subjectively and like just had a good time, that's fine. For whatever reason, I don't know. The beginning is sloppy. They're trying to set too many things up. They introduce new characters in the last installment of a trilogy. Lando shows up. There's a scene at the end with Lando and Finn's new girlfriend, and it's not explained at all. There's a scene where Finn has to tell Rey something, and they keep probing at it. So much so that there's even another scene where Poe says, "What were you going to tell Rey?" And Finn says, I can't say. And they never tell us. JJ apparently, said that it's that he's force sensitive, which, you know, that's cool. But why wouldn't they tell us that in the movie? Why do I have to look at JJ after the movie for answers for something that they had a lead in through the whole movie? They never answered. And also, if you're dying in a pit and you're getting sucked into a pit, why would that be the time to tell someone that you're force sensitive? Like, you're getting sucked in the pit and you're like, hey Ray, I'm force sensitive. What would she do? Oh, cool, buddy. And then you die. I don't get it. Why would that be something you have to tell someone right before you die? Doesn't make sense. This whole movie makes no sense. The more you think about it, the more it hurts, man. The more you think about it, the more it hurts. I do think a lot of it has to do with the last film. You know, Rian Johnson did everything from that The Force Awakens set up. I equate it to like JJ set up the ball, you know, in volleyball. He set up the ball, and then Ryan spiked it into the ground. And while it was falling into the ground, JJ tried to recover it and totally missed. He tried his best. He definitely did. He tried his best. So, like, what I'd have to say about, you know, the entire saga, I guess, there's 9 movies now, is the original trilogy. Each movie is an 8 or a 9. But the trilogy itself is a 10 because it all leads into each other. It all works really well. The prequels, you know, I'd give the movies themselves like low ratings, but the trilogy overall, I'd give it like an 8 or a 9 because it all leads into each other. The overarching story is great. It's really just the direction and writing in the actual movies themselves that suck. But the sequel trilogy, the movies might get like, you know, I'd give The Rise of Skywalker like a 6.5. You know, I'd give The Force Awakens like a 8.5, and Last Jedi maybe a 7. But the overall trilogy, like as a trilogy, I'd probably give it like a 4. Because they don't lead into each other at all. And it's so obvious. It's so obvious that they had no plan. And honestly, it's not JJ's fault. In fact, it's not even Rian Johnson's fault. I know everyone's quick to put blame on Kathleen Kennedy, but who else is there to blame? Bob Iger? I don't know. Kathleen Kennedy's the one in charge of Star Wars. The trilogy was a total disaster. And I honestly don't know how they're going to recover. The shows, I guess. Mandalorian's cool. Dude, that episode that they dropped of The Mandalorian right before The Rise of Skywalker, I feel like that was such a calculated thing where they're like, hey, let's drop that episode of Mandalorian early so we can show Baby Yoda healing someone, so then when Rey heals Kylo, it's not a big deal. Because we all love Mandalorian. I mean, Mandalorian's fine, but it's not the movies. I don't know how they recover from that. Honestly, the movies just felt like they felt like just Transformer films, which is fine if you're into that sort of thing, but Star Wars has always been a bit more than that. The characters were always there. There were always great characters. Han, Leia, Luke, Yoda, Obi-Wan. These are all classic characters. Who are there? Who is there in the new trilogy? Rey, Finn, Poe? I don't care about any of them. The Force Awakens sets them up, and you like hope that something's going to come from it, and then nothing ever comes. I don't know. I'm really rambling off the top of my head. I probably should have written something down because I'm just rambling. This probably makes no goddamn sense, but I don't know. Maybe I'll talk about it again. Maybe I'll do a whole retrospective of the new trilogy. I don't mean to be too down on it. It's just a movie, but Star Wars has been so important in my life for a long time. I know that sounds ridiculous, whatever, but everyone says, maybe you're just not a kid anymore and you don't like Star Wars. Well, if I'm not the target audience, why am I buying tickets? Why am I the one buying tickets? I don't know. Anyway, I'll talk to you guys later. Maybe I'll do a more in-depth thing. My friend still hasn't seen it. I'd like to have a conversation with him and see what happens, see what he thinks. I have a lot of friends who liked the movie. It baffles me, honestly. I don't know. Maybe I'll bring one of them in and we'll have a discussion. See what's up. I don't know. Anyway, I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.